We're back, guys. Welcome to Subjectively. You know, the channel where I say that I'm done with the Mazda region and then openly confess to how I was lying, come back, and make some more videos anyway. If you're somehow just finding us now, I'm honestly a little jealous. You get to go back and discover the past 3.5 years worth of videos from this series for the very first time. This is the Mazda region, my passion project since 2020, and probably the subject matter most associated with our YouTube channel. A few months ago, I made a video wrapping up the region with a few changes to older designs, and in that video, I stated that it would be the last thing I worked on for the series. It turns out that was both true and untrue. Mostly untrue, because, as you can see, I made another video, but most of what I'm going to show you in this video is not content that I came up with myself. I mean, I drew it, some of it, but they weren't my ideas. Alright, let me see if I can explain this a little bit more clearly. I struggle sometimes with verbalizing exactly what it is that I want to get across. I like to consider myself as somewhat of a teacher to everyone watching, but even I need some instruction when it comes to certain topics. Fortunately, today's sponsor, Skillshare, has a ton of resources that are perfect for someone in my line of work, someone who's always trying to better themselves through learning. Skillshare is the largest online learning community for creatives with a wide breadth of topics ranging from illustration, graphic design, and photography to music, marketing, and productivity. It's the kind of environment that's perfect for someone like me, who learns by doing rather than just sitting and listening. Members of the Skillshare community can create and share a project after completing a class, allowing them to really immerse themselves in the subject. They've got classes on a wide variety of topics to help a budding artist expand their interests, including illustration, graphic design, photography, UI and UX design, creative writing, animation, fine art, music, music production, film and video, marketing, productivity, freelance and entrepreneurship, web development, craft, social media, and more. Whether you want to learn the basics of watercolor painting or learn how to start your own creative business, Skillshare has classes to take you from beginner to pro alongside a supportive community. I've always wanted to branch out from 2D illustration into digital 3D media, but learning an entirely new art form felt daunting. Thankfully, Nalini Kantajena's course, Maya Basics for Beginners, helped me approach the subject with confidence and enthusiasm. His easy-to-follow instructions got me over that initial apprehension about learning a new subject. The structure of the class was laid out in a way that allowed me to absorb information in bite-sized chunks, breaking it all down so that I could get sufficient practice in each step before moving on to another one. Believe it or not, Skillshare actually got me to sit down and break into the medium of digital 3D. I still have a lot to learn, but I'm pretty proud of myself for taking this first step. If you'd like to join the Skillshare community and broaden your horizons as an artist, be sure to click the link in the description. The first 500 people to use our link will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. I encourage all of you to at least give it a try. You really have nothing to lose and a whole lot to gain. But remember, the free trial is only for the first 500 people to use our link, so act quickly. Thank you so much to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. We love having partners who encourage our fans to learn, grow, and share with the world. Now, where was I? Oh, yes, the Mega Contest. A few months ago, the Project Untamed team, that is the hardworking people developing the official/unofficial Mazda region game, announced a contest for Subjectively fans. I had chosen Mega Evolutions as the generational battle gimmick for the Mazda region, but we needed more Mega Evolutions to help balance out the decks. The team knew that I was done working on the decks, so they asked our fans for help. There are a lot of things that I am proud of about Subjectively, but by far my single greatest source of pride with this channel comes from seeing all of the work that I've inspired other people to do. I like to draw, sure, but I also love to see other people draw, express their ideas, communicate their thoughts through images, and share all of it with the world. I know I'm getting a little sappy here, but it's all true. I'm honestly amazed by the work that our fans do, and I love that I've created a platform that allows underappreciated artists to get their work out there and be adored by thousands of people. Today, we're going to take a look at the first batch of winners from this Mega Evolution contest. I say the first batch because we have a lot of winners. They were chosen mostly by the lead developers of Project Untamed, but I threw in my 2 cents as well. We based our decisions mainly on visuals, but the balancing team had a say in it as well. Fans of the game who are looking for underutilized niches that have yet to be filled in Mazda you're going to be very excited. As much as I'd like to share all of these winners with you today in this video, there just isn't enough time. I'm redrawing almost all of the winners so that the art style is consistent across the decks, and so far, I've only managed to get through about a fifth of the winning submissions. So we'll start small and eventually get through all of the new megas joining the Maza decks. It would be hypocritical of me to say that there's not enough time to show all of the winners and then continue to blather on about how proud I am of all of our fans, so I'll cut the chatter. People who like to comment, "The video starts here," I'll do your job for you. The video starts here. First up, we have Mega Porygon Z, submitted to us by Mary, or Reverse Palindrome. This is a wild design, something that I think a lot of people have always hoped would be added to a Pokemon game at some point or another. The Porygon line is very unique in its progression from first to final evolution, going from a primitive low-poly model to a more modern, rounded version of the same Pokemon, then finally embodying the chaotic energy of bugging software. There really aren't any other Pokemon like it, and it's fun to imagine what might happen if Porygon Z was allowed to evolve even further. Combine that hypothetical fourth evolution with the inherent chaos of Mega Evolution, and you have the first winner of our Mega Contest. If Porygon Z is bugging, Mega Porygon Z is straight up glitched. The original artist even included an extra layer of visual effects to make the character look as if it's not projecting properly. I love Pokemon designs that are asymmetric. They're rare and they're very hard to pull off well. This one does it very well. In fact, it wouldn't make sense if it was perfectly symmetrical. Adding in extra 3D shapes that take the place of the limbs that we recognize from Porygon Z, but abstracting them so that they look like fractaled visual data really drives home the damaged software aesthetic. I did make some minor changes to the design when I redrew it, mostly simplifying redundant shapes so that the character was easier to read. Overall, though, this winner had brilliant execution for a very clever idea. Good work, Mary. Mega Porygon Z, the virtual Pokemon. When subject Porygon Z is exposed to, it will Mega Evolve. In its Mega Evolved form, Porygon Z is extremely unstable. This process was first discovered by... The typing of Porygon Z is currently impossible to identify, believed to be a result of its corrupted data. This process of using in order to Mega Evolve Porygon Z has only been studied in a controlled environment a handful of times. Prolonged exposure to could result in unsavory effects. Our next winner comes to us from artist Saltitan, and gives love to a Pokemon that I'm sure a lot of us have either overlooked or hoped would be more popular. Ledian is such an interesting concept, taking something as mundane as a ladybug and adding just enough fantasy to it that it feels like a magical monster partner. It suffers from two detractors, however. The first being that it's an early game Pokemon, which tend to be weak at the very least and visually uninteresting at best, and the second detractor being that it's from the second generation of Pokemon, notorious for its underbaked concepts and designs. There's nothing really wrong with Ledian, but the design for the Mega Evolution that Saltitan came up with takes it from mildly interesting to downright exciting. This design plays up that Sentai Saturday morning cartoon superhero feel that Ledian alludes to with its connection to the stars. Instead of just being a footnote in its Pokédex, however, its cosmic power is boldly showcased in this Mega form. The star-shaped head, the gold accents, and the heroic pose the artist drew it in is enough to even make me care about this Pokemon. Seriously, I never gave Ledian a second thought before I saw this design. Now I wish this was real, if not as a Mega Evolution, then at least just a straight-up third form for the Lediba line. Honestly, with the way new generations have been adding evolutions, I wouldn't be surprised if we do see one for Ledian someday. I just hope it's as cool as this one. Good work, Saltitan. Mega Ledian, the 5-star Pokemon. Glowing with the energy of a burning star, Mega Ledian is remarkably powerful for a bug type. It can channel the light from distant galaxies and redirect them into jabbing punches that are so powerful they break the sound barrier as they land. Mega Ledian ensures that its strength is only put to noble purposes. It will never strike a foe it deems unworthy of its might. Now we get into some Mega Evolutions of original Maza region Mons. Our next winner was submitted by two users, FlareBlitz42 and JXGXVXM. They designed a Mega Roadraptor, and man, do I love this thing. Roadraptor has always been one of my favorite Pokemon that I designed for the Maza region. I mean, it makes sense. It's pretty much just a dinosaur, but I also feel like it's one of those effortlessly official-looking Fakemon that just seems like it could be real. Seeing a Mega form for it makes it feel even more real, and though I never considered what a Mega Roadraptor might look like, I really can't imagine anything other than this now. It's funny, we've had quite a few cosmic Mega Evolutions in this video. First Ledian, with its connection to the stars, now Roadraptor, the living comet, and there's even one more after these two. Originally, the winners had submitted Mega Roadraptor as an electric ground type, an homage to my original typing for the first stage of the line, Renner. Personally though, I like the balancing team's decision to make it back into an electric flying type. Those big wings it gains in its Mega form not only make it look more powerful, but they add to it a whole new element the character didn't have before: flight. Before, Roadraptor could only jump and glide. Being able to actually fly in its Mega form feels like a natural progression of its power. I did add a little bit about it not being a very good flyer in the Pokédex entry though. I mean, if it can only fly in its Mega form, it probably doesn't get a lot of practice. Anyway, great work by Flare Blitz 42 and JXGXVXM. Man, that is a mouthful. Mega Roadraptor, the shooting star Pokemon. Roadraptor is able to maximize the potential of its blinding speed when it Mega evolves, as its previously underdeveloped wings suddenly become capable of full flight. Building up not only speed, but also electrical energy as it runs, Mega Roadraptor will launch itself from the ground at max speed, burning through the sky in a burst of light. Though it can move incredibly fast, it's not a very competent flyer and has a tendency for crashing and burning. This next winner is not only native to Maza, but also shares a home with Roadraptor on Route 1. User ScrubbleLive blessed us with this Mega Laguna, completing our solar system of cosmic-themed Mega Evolutions. Laguna is a design that frustrates me because I just want it to be cute and pretty, but those two adjectives are the hardest for me to apply to my character designs. Fortunately, ScrubbleLive does not have the same hangups with their artwork, and this Mega Laguna is everything I wanted the original form to be and more. My favorite part about it has got to be the silhouette. I love how we go from the crescent moon of the default form with a one upright ear into a full moon with the enlarged, fluffy tail. The change to the ears also makes the moon shape look like it's shrouded in wispy clouds, really enhancing that fey mystique of the design. The ears even have a cosmic ombre of colors and textures that stand out nicely against the monochromatic colors of the body. It feels so light and airy, like it could just drift away in a light breeze, but it also feels powerful, like a creature from European folklore. I guess that's the perfect balance to strike with any good fairy type design. I really didn't change much about this design, I just kind of redrew it in my Maza region style to make it consistent with the rest of the decks. Amazing work, ScrubbleLive. Claire's a big fan of this one too. Through the process of Mega Evolution, Laguna's fur shifts from simply reflecting the light of the moon to generating it. Its massive fluffy tail shines so brightly that it makes it nearly impossible for enemy attacks to hit. If an opponent somehow manages to land a hit on Mega Laguna, the force of the impact will be absorbed by its immensely dense fur. It seems to be unable to control its frenetic energy levels in this form, and will jump around without tiring until it reverts back. Now, these last two that I'm going to share with you aren't really my artwork at all. User Jojo submitted this concept for Mega Frizzard, and the concept was reimagined by the artist Yokaiju. I am just a small piece of the collaborative puzzle that has become Mega Frizzard, and as you'll see, I merely trace over Yokaiju's work in this time-lapse footage. Honestly, this has got to be my favorite from this bunch of winners. I know that Frizzard is a bit of a polarizing Pokemon in the Maza region. People like to see designs that directly reference something from the real world, and I like those kinds of designs too, but I also like stuff that doesn't make any sense, like an air conditioner dragon. Now, I get the feeling that people who didn't like Frizzard to begin with may like this Mega form more. It kind of takes some of that awkward goofiness away from Frizzard and replaces it with some serious ass-kicking monster energy. It's still just as weird as it was before, but now it definitely feels like a monster capable of powerful battles. I'm glad that someone took the initiative to create a Mega Evolution for Frizzard. People have been saying since I first designed it that it should evolve, and while I never felt like it needed an evolution, a Mega Evolution works really well. Thank you for giving Frizzard the love it deserves, Jojo, and thank you to Yokaiju for doing my work for me with this incredible redesign. In the wild, Frizzard intakes warm air and cools it using special chemicals in its blood. In battle, Mega Frizzard is able to redirect the energy from opponents' attacks into hyper-chilled blasts that can freeze targets in their tracks. The more destructive the attack, the stronger Mega Frizzard's counterattack will be. If it takes on too much heat energy, however, it will begin to tire. If it isn't allowed to cool itself down, its internal body temperature will cause its organs to fail. And the final winner we'll look at today was designed and illustrated by the same artist who did the underdrawing for Frizzard, Yokaiju. They knew we couldn't have a Mega Evolution for Frizzard without giving one to its Space Heater counterpart, and they did not disappoint with their design or their art. I don't have time-lapse footage for this submission because I didn't redraw this one. It's in line with the rest of my Maza region artwork, if not better looking than a lot of my designs. I love how this one retains so much of the weirdness of Zarcoil. Like I said with Frizzard, that's what I love about these guys. They're not really cool in a conventional way. They're not like other girls. Part of me wishes that the Mega Evolution for both Frizzard and Zarcoil were just their default designs, but they do feel a little too powerful to not be something akin to Megas. Honestly, you could even tell me that these two were legendary Pokemon, and I would believe it. Once again, amazing work from Yokaiju. I was seriously impressed by both this and Frizzard. Zarcoil, the Radiator Pokemon. The bond Zarcoil has formed with its trainer takes the form of blazing blue flames. When it Mega Evolves, the vents on its bodies increase in size in order to dissipate the increased levels of heat. This allows it to release gigantic blasts of fire and dragon energy that raises the earth around it. The air around Mega Zarcoil can reach temperatures unsuitable for most life forms, and trainers are advised not to allow it to stay Mega Evolved for too long. Like I said at the beginning of this video, these are just a handful of all of the winners that we chose for this Mega Contest. Once again, I have broken my promise about being done with the Maza region, as I will be making more videos and doing more artwork for the rest of the winners. For now though, which Mega was your favorite from this bunch? If you don't know already, what Megas are you hoping to see from the rest of the winners? Leave any and all of your thoughts down below in the comments. That's it for the video, everyone. Thank you so much to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Remember, click the link in the description for a free 1-month trial of Skillshare. First 500 people get that for free. Thank you to all of the artists who submitted designs for our contest. Thank you to the Project Untamed team for your continued work on this project. And thank you, yes, you, for watching. I'll see you all in the next video.